Greetings, one and all. I've got the door open. It's a nice day, so there's going to be some extraneous noise. Maybe that's no bad thing. You'll get maybe some idea of polar pattern or something. Anyway, Boris Lavtashkov, 2326. So could you compare the Beta 58 with the V7MK? And I've just noticed. No, I can't. I thought I could because I've just borrowed the Beta 58. I'm getting confused. Which is the current one? I think it's the 58A is the current one. I just borrowed it from my friend and left her my Beta. But anyway, the Beta 58A is near enough to the Beta 58. I prefer the older one, but they've got a similar flavour, enough so that I think the comparison will be worthwhile. Now I've started it rather than having to wait a month to get the other one back. So anyway, I'll go ahead. Why these mics? Check my reviews, I say as well. So I have reviewed this one. I have reviewed this one in comparing it, I think, actually to my 58 Beta. Get what I'm saying? I've reviewed them one way or other. I've reviewed them all. So you can check that out if you want. So this is the Beta 58A. Mine is the 58 Beta, I think it's called. I've reviewed that one as well, which my friend has got. And I've also done this, the SE V7MK. And I'm on an Earthworks SR314. Enough already. All right, what the manufacturer says, I'm not going to go into it. I can't remember what they say, so you can check the reviews. They're both well-known mics anyway. Physical comparison, size, weight, handling, ting test and everything, diaphragm size. I haven't been doing the ting test of late. That's what they look like. The gentleman wanted to know. The MK, put the badges at the front if I can. So the MK, the SE is a little bit bigger, but nothing in it really in terms of in the hand. Weight, difficult to say. Possibly the Shure a bit heavier, but because it's difficult to say, you get the idea. Not much difference. Not going to do the frequency charts because you can go and look them up. So I figured I'd just go on sound and stuff in this test and keep it short. So let me go straight on to the MK. This is let's say the Earthworks. So straight on to the SE V7MK. Do I notice anything there? Just from my general experience, I say, yeah, quite smooth at the top. Not much pushing through. We've got that little bit of handling noise, which we know about, so you've got to be a little bit careful because it goes low. Anything else that I notice? Yeah, you bring it in, you've got that proximity. I would say that it feels like a fairly benign microphone to me. But there's nothing that particularly that sticks out, so I'm quite, it's quite detailed, I feel. Yeah, I think it's nice. You have to be a little bit careful with that, as I say. A little bit careful. Have something I've noticed, and other reviewers I think I've spotted doing this, and I've noticed, I thought, well, with the pops as well, it depends on how close it is. Sometimes it's better right up against the lips, so maybe they've designed it for that. Got to bring it there. And round there, it seems worse. My suspicion is that when you're right up close, everything is immediately starts to get dispersed through the foam. When you're further away, a front of air hits the foam, and some of the pop is simply that. So the front of air hitting. You can almost hear it, no? Hitting there. But not so much there, but then we get the distortion. Whoops. So anyway, that's something to bear in mind when you're messing around. As I've said many, many times, check the videos, I've got to say it every time, why not? To the side is tends to mitigate it anyway. That's what that's like. Let's go straight over to the Beta 58A. Now I'm on the Beta 58A. I noticed immediately when I breathed in there the slight accentuation on the. That's the Beta. SE. even though the SE has got a lift there, so that shows you how much of a lift the Beta has. So I'm on the Beta, and as I did notice with the Beta before, there almost seems to be a bit of distortion or something. There's a maybe to do well. That is distortion effectively because it's distorted the natural tonality of my voice, but I mean sort of valve-like distortion as well. You know, seems to be a bit of that around there, which maybe I think some people like. Gives you a bit of as if you want to do that, like my friend's hound. So that's what I noticed there. That ever present for me. Did you notice that? So you can hear a bit of a click on the front when I do the glottal. So it likes that. It likes that. What about lower down? Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Bringing it in. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. We know what I'm going to say. Down, down, down. Go down, down, down. Down, down, down. Oh no, down, 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 down. SE needs to come up just a bit. They're both the same. More difficult to say. It's just by looking. Down, down. Yeah. So quite different, really. Again, as I've always said, if the low end isn't there when you're doing stuff like that, which you're probably not going to do, then it leaves all this exposed, more so, and it's pushed with this one anyway. So you're getting a double whammy of that. Dunno. There we go. Depends on what you like. Handling noise on the Beta. If you're going to do that, you're going to get some trouble. Of course, some people don't go there. Well, rest our ears with the SR314. Not too bad. So what it's got with that handling, if you do that, is quite low. Which, if you've got a low system or full system, that's going to be a bit of an issue. It does mean, of course, if you don't use that part of your voice, you can get rid of it with the bass control a bit, and it might not affect your voice too much if you don't go down there, or don't play with it, or be careful how you play with it. Anything else that I need to mention? I think it's probably enough for you to hear. Hiss and hum. I don't think I'll do that. Price, voice style, suitability. Well, price, I can't remember. I didn't do any research because I just thought I'd just go through it and play with them. So I don't know. You can look that up easily enough yourself. I have a suspicion the Beta A might be a bit more. Okay. Suitability. Well, if you've got a dull voice, I guess this might help you, but you could use EQ anyway. But you're also going to get the distortion, that sort of slightly distorted sound with it too. So it's not just, you might be better off just EQing this if you need to. I suppose rocking and screaming. Because I don't think it really makes much difference. Or does it? I don't know. The Beta. Give myself some vibe. That's the vibe. Give myself some vibe. Oh, yeah. SE, SE. Yeah. Sure. Well, from doing that, does make a bit of difference. But I think actually I prefer this. Yeah, I think maybe I did. So I don't know, you just have to make up your own mind. I think that's about it. Which would I choose and why? Which would I choose and why? If it's a soul mic, and that's not S-O-U-L, but S-O-L-E, which would I choose and why? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring me in some ribbon. I'm going to bring me in some Beyerdynamic V90r, seeing as it's here. That's the idea of having these things here. That's the idea of having these things here. That's the idea of having these things here. That's right. Yeah! Oh, no, so, yeah. That's enough, isn't it? I'm sure you can hear. You can hear what this one's got to offer. So, should I choose and why? Well, for me, not this one. One of those two. But, we're getting very fussy, aren't we? We're blessed with so many much. I'm just listening to it now and thinking it's all right. Too much of that. But anyway, should I choose and why? And that's why I choose too much of that, you see. What should I choose and why? Though we have got with this new desk, I have got this. Sorry to go on. Let's see if we can find it. What would I choose? What would I... Is there. That's where it is. That's where it is. So that's got I boosted it there. It's about 5 or 5.5, 6. What would I choose? What happens if I remove that a little bit? What would I choose and why? Oh. What would I choose and why? Oh. Now we got a bit of something else. We've still got that. But I think that's... Now we got a bit of something else. Now we got a bit of something else. You see, because now you see we're down, because now we got a bit of something. Putting it flat. Now we got a bit. You can hear what's happening there. Now we got a bit of something else. Sharpening it, boosting it. Now we got a bit of something else. So it's round there. Now we got a bit of there's flat. Now we got a bit. Taking it out. There, I've taken it out a little bit. And there, I took it out. So let me put it flat, or I'll forget for the next mic. Next guest. Okay. Ugh. That's the end of that then. And yeah. I've forgotten your name. It's difficult to pronounce anyway. Boris. That's easy. Do that bit if you don't mind. So Boris, I hope that's been of some use to you. Just from my memory, do you look at the video between this beta A and the beta? The 58 beta, I don't know what was something. The one without the older one that they made for a while has less of this going on to me. Has less of the extremes of that stuff going on. It's a bit smoother, a bit sweeter. Similar idea, but less of it. I prefer it. But they're both in the same ballpark, so I hope that video has been of some use. Okay. Catch you next time.